Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. Today is Wednesday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Wednesday, September 6th. This is a live show we do every morning, 10:30 Eastern Time. I give my picks. We have a lot of great commenters, a lot of great regular viewers who make funny comments, and sometimes the advice I give in this show is profitable.
Oh, my goodness.
Sometimes it's not.
Sorry.
What is that? All right. Sometimes. There we go.
Now I got my phone going.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, let's get on the ball, people. All right. So let's see. Let's find out. Sorry, there was an audio issue there. All right. Jensen Bonzone says 3-0-1 last night at MLB. Nice job, Jensen Bonzone. I had a losing day yesterday. Once again, the low-hanging fruit wasn't that bad. I took a shot with the Bartolo Colon and Odorizzi fade, and that one lost. But the other one was Hellickson to get crushed, and that did cash. But overall, I was 5-8, so another losing day, and still positive overall in the year, and entirely possible that I could kick ass today, tomorrow, and Friday, and then over the weekend and wind up
anything is possible.
Positive for the week.
Believe.
Yes. Steven Stucci says he's 15-6-1 in his last 22 MLB picks. Great job, Steven Stucci and Jansen Bonzone. Yeah. I had I've maybe been a little bit irresponsible and licentious with my picking here since I started to go significantly up in units again. Hellickson did get hit. Houston wound up pulling out the win, so I got a winner on the -1 line there, but I did not get a winner on the team total over because Miranda suddenly out of nowhere also had a great start. Yesterday it was the day of no hitters for crappy pitchers. Odorizzi had a no hitter going for a while. Miranda had a no hitter going for a while. So I think in September, I'm still feeling pretty good, but I'm going to just stick with the top plays every day and every week for the rest of September, chugging along. I do have some CFL plays I'm going to give today. Of course, I've been giving out NFL and college plays that I'm going to be adding to all week long as soon as I get to them. WNBA playoffs starts today, and I don't have any picks on the WNBA games today, but I might have them. And if I do, I will certainly tweet them out. And so that's how it is. I'm going to break down the MLB cards every day, but I'm going to probably stick to just my top plays every day that I'm really liking. Continue to give out as many NFL and college plays as I can get to as the week goes on, and definitely follow WNBA and CFL when it comes up. And that's about it. We're going to get to the card today, but right now we're going to promote once again the awesome contests at SBR that we have. 2 huge money contests, right, Matt? Right, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah,
we do. Yes. So as you guys all know, Beat the Prick, right? We've been doing it for like 13 years, but we got a new one called Beat the Bag. Obviously, we're really creative with our titles, but nonetheless, got another $25,000 to give away, right? So the deal with that is it's just NFL. It's a bit easier than the Beat the Prick. Just 5 picks a week. You get 1 to triple down on. Pretty much you have to beat Jimmy's score and finish in the black to get weekly prizes, and then obviously culminates at the end of the season with taking a shot at the $25,000 prize pool. There is a link in the description right now, and if Zach would be so kind as to share the link in the chat. Thank you for all the Marty Ice love. Yeah. Yeah, and we're also going to be, we're going to be all over Twitter, guys. Like, we want to make this a community thing. So I like shit talk, essentially. I just want to, if you guys go 0-3 or 0-5 for the week, Stucci, if you're 0-5 for the week, I'm going to let everybody know. I'm going to make fun of you. So I'm going to be on that chat every day. I'm going to be in that forum every day. And I want you guys to be doing the same thing. So join up. Like I said, there's a link in the description, and I'm sure somebody will put one in the chat soon.
Yes. I will also be participating in these contests for sure. And, SBR, they're trying to promote these contests. My take on it is when the prize pool is that big, that's all you got. That's all your promotion right there. Bam. What's the Beat the Prick prize pool? $40,000 total?
I didn't have it written down. I believe it's somewhere around.
All right, so you got Beat the Prick 40,000 total prize pool.
65.
Beat the Bags 25,000 prize pool. That's just the year-end prizes. You've also got weekly prizes. And if those numbers don't impress you, once again, congratulations. Have a great life. I'm jealous. Have a great life.
You're probably watching this in the back of a Maybach right now.
But if those numbers do impress you, which they impress me, then it's right there. All you have to do is click on it. There really are no catches. We're not going to secretly take your information and then hack you and then hack it, right? There's no catches.
No, it's like I said, we were talking about this the other day with the IPC. I couldn't get my friends to come because they thought it was like some kind of timeshare scam. I was like, no, man, we're just pretty awesome here, and we give shit away to people. So yeah, this is a continuation on that.
Yeah, that is funny. All right, so and yeah, and it's a free contest, great contest. So we're all very excited. Although I'm not that excited because I'm not eligible for the prize money. But
if you win, I will. Yeah. I'll make you ceviche, right? You like ceviche,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
make a big old vat of it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know I could like set up a friend with a fake account and then do it, but you know, it's that's not what I do. All right, so let's get to the.
You've thought this over, haven't you?
I mean, you know, whatever.
Also, as always, we're brought to you by Intertops. Thank you.
Yes, Intertops, great book. Often does have the best line, and especially if you don't have access to Pinnacle. If you don't have access to Pinnacle, then Intertops often has the best line. Even with Pinnacle, Intertops does sometimes have the best line as well. So excellent book, Intertops, and of course, mainly is that they are reliable and your money is safe, which is all the recommended books at SBR are that way, and that is key for the first thing you want to look at for any book that you're looking to play with. All right, so I'm a little bit concerned. Again, I'm still up for the year. I'm still positive for the year, and this week could even wind up positive, you know, over the next few days. But I'm definitely concerned with how things went. You know, I was not. Bartolo Colon had another good start, and I was like, all right, well, even if he has a good start, Odorizzi will get hit. And he had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning. So, and that wouldn't have been that bad, except I did triple up on that one with the team totals. Both of them lost. When I was sitting here in the show yesterday, I was like, well, what are the chances that both of these team totals in the first 5 innings over lose? And, of course, they did. So, you know, that's just the way it goes. I tripled up on that one. And then the Toronto-Boston game, thought we had, what a wacky, I mean, things are getting wacky in baseball. Thought I had a good play on the over once again, wound up going 19 innings. And, you know, once again, Toronto wound up losing that game. But once again, I just thought they were a little bit disrespected, too big of an underdog. And I sort of feel the same way again today. I understand, you know, why Boston gets so much love in general, but you know, I'm not sure of, you know, that Toronto was the wrong side yesterday. When the game goes to 19 innings and you have a big underdog that loses, you might have been on the right side. So it is a kind of an interesting card here. I'm not sure if I'm seeing anything that is definitely nothing that counts as a low-hanging fruit, but a few picks that I probably am willing to give. And and also the news is that Detroit is I was like, Detroit's an auto fade until further notice. Well, the notice has been handed in, and Detroit's not an auto fade anymore. And I sort of started to sense that on that one game recently against KC where they came back in the second half and almost won it. Though, you know, it depends on how the young hitters who replace the veterans in the lineup do, and they're starting to pick it up. Detroit is definitely starting to hit. They have some bats in the lineup, and I think that's for real. So Detroit is definitely, as of right now, not an auto fade. We had a nice little window to fade them against Cleveland, and that is no longer, I think, the case. All right, so let me just quickly touch on what happened with the games yesterday. The Yankees-Baltimore game, had that one right. Hellickson got hit. The Minnesota-Tampa Bay game, I had 3 losers, Odorizzi and Colon. Where the hell did that happen? Mets-Philly over, I had that one. That cashed. Then the KC-Detroit game, first 5 innings over, that one cashed. Then I had KC's second half. That was a loser. 2 losers with the Toronto-Baltimore over, which really kind of surprised me. And then I had San Diego as a home dog, which lost. And then I had the Houston game where the team total over lost, but the -1 line cash. So yeah, it really wasn't that bad of a day in retrospect. It was just I shouldn't have tripled up on the Tampa Bay game, and it was just totally shocking that Colon and Odorizzi did what they did, and that
both
just goes
together,
to
yes.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you that you know, in baseball, expect the unexpected pretty much at all times. With some people are more reliable, obviously, like you know, Carpenter. I mean, what's that guy's name? The Wainwright. You know, some people are less reliable, but in general, at all times, always a little bit expect the unexpected. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so and even Miranda had a good start, although Houston did cash. All right, so it wasn't that bad of a day overall yesterday, but you 5-8. And I did triple up a little bit irresponsibly. All right, so let's get to it. So I'm going to get to the MLB card right now in a second. But first, I want to look at some comments. Hako Schofield says less is more. Pete, yeah, you know, I mean, if I think I have a lean on a side, or on a play, I'll give it out. You know, I probably am going to, you know, tamp it down though a bit, unless I'm really liking 4 or 5 plays, probably just 1 or 2 each day in MLB. Excuse me. Hako Schofield likes Astros. That game I didn't have a chance to look at because of course there was no overnight line. At first glance, you know, Astros -160 with McCullers starting. I'm going to look at that one after the show with no overnight line. I did not have the Time to look at that one. Akko Schofield says, "You're still the man, Pete." Thanks so much, Akko Schofield. All right, let's look for some other.
In progress, and Sean Thompson, if you could screenshot the errors you're getting on the website and send them to me on Twitter, through our SBR Twitter, I will help you out. Anybody else having issues too? Just get at me. We'll work with you to try to get you in there.
Okay. Udumporn Rakanafakti says, "Yanks effed me up last night with the walk-off home run." Yeah, that's why I was on the team total overs with them. You know, I still think probably the Yankees were the right play last night, but yeah, that's why I like the team total overs. The Real TC asking Pete, Stanford USC, who do you like? That is an interesting game, a tough game, and I'm thinking that I'm liking the under 56 in that one. Now I know I liked the under in the Stanford game against Rice, and that was in retrospect being a terrible pick. But Stanford this year looks like, you know, the classic version of Stanford, not a perfect team, but a team with most of the usual strengths that Stanford has. And USC, to my eye, looks like they have a relatively strong defense. Obviously, with Darnold at quarterback, they have a very productive offense, but maybe a little bit of a step back from last year in terms of dynamic playmakers on offense. And, of course, when Stanford and USC meet, it's usually a modest scoring game. There was one game recently that went into the 70s, so this game could be like that, but you know, or it could sneak over. But my sense is that the total of 56 is a little bit high, and my pick on that game is on the under. As far as the side is concerned, I mean, anytime Stanford's getting that many points, probably that would be the lean. But USC is a team that's looking legitimately elite or borderline elite this year, unless they wind up with head case problems, which, you know, tends to happen to them every year. But with a new coach, I think it might not. So I'm not prepared to bet against USC, you know, right now, even with Stanford getting points. So you know, it's the side I'm going to pass on, and my strong lean on that one is to the under. If that one loses, that would be okay. But that's what I'm liking on that one, the under. Okay, let's see other comments here. Looking at in progress saying F the Jays minus 200 was crazy money. Yeah. I mean, I just think that if you look at what the odds were for the Toronto game yesterday, Toronto was probably the right side, even though they did wind up losing. Okay, let's see. Udumporn Ratanafakti. What's up, Pete? Sean Thompson says, "Is it me, or can DeGrom not buy it when he's on the mound?" Look, he's just sort of faded a little bit recently, still getting strikeouts. But, you know, I talked with Donnie Rightside about that game. We both liked the over. It was a low total. And, you know, if, the fact that DeGrom got lit up is not a huge surprise. But if he hadn't, Lively on the other side probably, you know, would have struggled a bit. And DeGrom, you know, has had a couple of starts recently where he's given up a bunch of runs. And I think that's probably likely to continue for him. He'll still have probably a few more starts where he's also, you know, 7 innings and 1 or 2 runs. But, yeah, he can give up runs somewhat regularly right now. Okay, let's see. Other comments. Carlos Luders says he likes the Angels and Oakland over 9.5. Yeah, I mean, Skaggs and Mania have both been struggling here. It's a day game after 2 high-scoring games, so we'll have to see who's in the lineup. That's another thing that screwed me a little bit yesterday, was guys out of the lineup, right? What's his name? Big Bat was out for Toronto. Who is it? What the hell's that guy's name? What?
Donaldson?
No, Smoke.
Oh.
Smoke was out for Toronto, and then for Tampa Bay, their big home run hitter was out too. So there were a bunch of big home run hitters who wound up being out on the games that I took overs on, and that certainly you know, can happen at any time, especially in September. So you do have to be careful. All right, let's see. All right. Now let's get into the card.
First of all, did you see Ezekiel Elliott's thing yesterday?
Yeah, he's suspended, right?
He's playing this weekend.
Oh, he's playing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I haven't crunched that game yet, but my sense is that Prescott is way more important to Dallas than Elliott is.
Most certainly.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, still a key cog. And
yes.
Fucking assholes are letting him play this week.
Yes, for sure. All right, so should I get into the CFL games first? Let's see. I'm definitely leaning. Let's see, Ottawa minus 12. All right, first let's get to MLB, because MLB is it's a tricky card. On the overnight line, one line that I was liking was Cincinnati at around minus 150, but it's since crashed all the way down into the minus 120s. Garza against Castillo, and I'm looking at the lineup, and I'm not seeing anyone out for Cincinnati. Is there a big bat out that I'm not seeing for Cincinnati? Duvall's in, Votto's in, Cosart, Hamilton, Suarez, Schlebler. Looks like all the big bats are in for course, Cincinnati. So I'm not quite understanding why there would be that big of a movement. Does anyone have any comments on?
They'll let you know.
Well, I'm sorry.
They will let us know. They're always good about that.
Yeah, I was liking Cincinnati here. Garza is. The other thing is that Garza is off of extra rest because Garza was struggling, and so now they're giving him, they skipped the start, and that definitely helps at times any major league pitcher. We saw the Baltimore Orioles get a great, Dylan Bundy got a great boost from having his start skipped and getting extra rest recently for Baltimore. Garza obviously doesn't have the upside of Bundy, but it might help him. Garza is still, serviceable when he's on his game. So the extra rest for Garza might help him. Castillo is having his innings limited, and this is supposed to be his last start of the year. He might get some more bullpen work, but this is supposed to be his last start of the year. His last start was only 4 innings, not a high pitch count, so maybe that has something to do with it. Castillo is expected to not go that deep, but still, I would be leaning Cincinnati here, and maybe Cincinnati on the first 5 innings with Castillo. So I guess I mean there are some big bats in the Milwaukee lineup as well, so I guess I can understand why the line would move, even if no one's out, just because, minus 150, not quite seeing that with Cincinnati. But I'm thinking Cincinnati might be a good play here on the -1 line. That was one play that I was leaning towards. Let's see. Other plays that I was leaning towards, well, obviously, the Minnesota-Tampa Bay under. And you see this a lot in baseball, right? When you have 2 crappy pitchers, both have a good game, and the game goes way under, and then the next game between those 2 teams is a game with the same line and 2 much better pitchers, and you're thinking, well, obviously, I got to take the under here, right? We got Snell against Sleggers. Snell, of course, has been pitching a lot better recently. His control is now something that he's mastered a little bit. And as we all knew and expected with Snell, if he ever got control of his control issues, he would start to be an excellent pitcher. And that has absolutely happened. So his control could, he could have a bad start here. Of course, expect the unexpected in baseball, but he's pitching very well recently. And then on the other side is this rookie 6'10" starting pitcher Sleggers, who had great minor league numbers and then had some nice results so far in the majors in his limited appearance in his limited innings in the majors so far. So 2 pitchers with some promising signs and a total of 9. And we saw, 9 yesterday with Cologne and Odorizzi hung way under. So I was thinking maybe a shot with the under 9 on that one, although something tells me that after yesterday, you come back here and this is the day when the offenses wake up and the game goes over by the 5th inning and you get burned. And now you're like, now you chase bad, stupid money. You chase a stupid play with another stupid play. But that was a line that I was definitely leaning towards, Minnesota, Tampa Bay under. Also thinking about the under in Washington and Miami. Peters and Gonzalez are the starting pitchers, and Peters, of course, I mentioned another rookie who's come up in September. He had great results in the minors. He's a short guy. He's like 5'10", which is short for a major league pitcher. But in his first start, he got a lot of grounders and a lot of strikeouts, a la Castillo. And when you're a starting pitcher who can get that done, you're going to have a lot of success. And so he had great minor league numbers and a great first start. When he came up to the majors. He could have a sophomore slump here in this start, but probably more likely than not, he has another good start. And then the other side, Gonzalez has been very reliable for Washington. His last start, he got hit a little bit more, but he still had a bunch of strikeouts in his last start, not too many walks, gave up a home run, but he should probably have a decent start as well. And that game on the under 9 is also something I was thinking about. And then in my series preview of the Angels and Oakland, I mentioned that I was leaning towards the Angels in the second halves in pretty much all of their games. The Angels quietly have, or maybe not quietly if you pay close attention, one of the best bullpens in baseball. And of course, now that they have bolstered their lineup significantly, they're looking like a great bet on their second half plays in general. And I believe they've cashed the second half in all the games so far against Oakland in this series. And I would be leaning that way again. So as of right now, those are the plays that I'm leaning towards most strongly. Cincinnati -1, Minnesota, Tampa Bay under, Washington, Miami under, and the Angels on the second half. And everything else looking a little bit iffy. The Texas-Atlanta game, of course, got rained out last night. That's going to be remade in the afternoon today, and then the night game, I believe, is going to be Hamels against Tehran again. And if that's the matchup, I would be leaning over in that one because Hamels, of course, is a guy who's been fading, and I'm looking for that to continue. Tehran is a guy who can be good, but is generally very shaky. So that would also be something that I'm leaning towards the over in the second game if the starting pitching matchup does wind up being Hamels and Tehran. And so that's about it. Going down the line, the Cubs game, Not going to touch that one. The Yankees game today, very interesting, but I'm not going to touch that one. The Detroit game, I'd probably be leading Detroit once again as a small home dog. Hamill against Boyd. Boyd's last 2 starts have been a little bit better. Overall in the year, he's been terrible, but his last 2 starts have been a little bit better, and he might have another somewhat decent 5 or 6 inning start. So as a home underdog, that might have some value. Miami as a home underdog, maybe with Peters starting. And then Toronto, once again, coming off a 19-inning game with Biagini against Pfister. Biagini's coming off a great start, and so it's not clear what we'll get here, if he'll be good again or if he'll struggle. And then Pfister on the other side has been excellent start in and start out. So it's not really a disrespect of Boston that I'm leaning Toronto. It's just the line. Once again, Toronto is a big road underdog in the plus 150s. And, with the lineups and Biagini against Pfister, looks like there's at least modest value, small value on Toronto at that line. The Cleveland White Sox game I'm passing on. San Francisco, Colorado, maybe a shot with the under. Cueto was okay in his last start back from the DL, and Freeland, can be okay at home, so maybe a shot with the under there. The St. Louis-San Diego game is also interesting. Flaherty is a guy who I'm looking to have maybe a good start with, so the first half under on that one might be worth a shot. Houston line didn't have an overnight line. And the Arizona-Dodgers game, Arizona won again last night despite Goldschmidt being out and heavy line movement against them. And here we are once again. It's Taijuan Walker against Maeda. And, of course, the Dodgers are a good team, but should the Dodgers really be minus 170 here? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. Arizona in the plus 150s looking to me like once again getting disrespected and maybe once again has a little bit of value. So a bunch of underdogs on the card today that look to my eye to have not great value, but a little bit of value. Those underdogs with probably a little bit of value are Minnesota in the plus 150s, Detroit at about plus 120 at home, Toronto in the plus 150s, and Arizona in the plus 150s. So those are 4 underdogs with not great value, maybe very small value, but probably a little bit. The ones that I would like the most would be Minnesota and Toronto, and then second tier would be Detroit and Arizona. So 4 underdogs I'm kind of liking, a couple of unders that I'm kind of liking, and Cincinnati, kind of liking them as the line crashes. Nothing I'm liking a ton though. So those are all my leans on today's card. I'm not exactly sure which ones I'll wind up making official and which ones I'll wind up passing on. Those are all my leans. We'll get to some comments in a second. Again, what are the leans? Cincinnati -1, a lean. Minnesota as a big dog, and Minnesota Tampa Bay under as a lean. Angels second half once again as a lean. Detroit as a home underdog, that's a small lean. Washington Miami under, that's a lean. Toronto as a decent sized road underdog, that's a lean. And Arizona as a decent sized road underdog, that's a lean. And I would also be leaning over in that Arizona Dodgers game as well. Walker Maeda, the offense might wake up a little bit here. And then the 10th lean again is the over 9 in the second Texas Atlanta game, Hamels against Toronto. So those are 10 leans. All of them kind of lukewarm. Some of them a little bit more lukewarm than others. Some of them a little bit less warm than others. But those are all my leans. So that's about it. Hako Schofield saying today should just be a lean day. Hako Schofield suggesting I'm not going to give 0 picks, but I might just give 1. I might just give 1.
For Lil Wayne's hospital visit, which is all about the leans today.
Yes. Lil Wayne, is he still alive? Is he alive?
Yeah, he had seizure problems because he drinks too much lean.
Yeah, drinks too much lean and probably throws some benzos on top of it. You can't be combining. Benzos is what'll fuck you up. You know
What's
what I'm saying?
One?
Benzos. Xanax, Z-bars, Valiums, clonazepam, Klonopin. You know what I'm saying? Benzos.
All right.
Benzodiazepines, baby. Right?
Those are good.
Yeah, Valium. Yeah, that shit will give you a seizure. But yeah, all right. Good for Lil Wayne that he's still alive. Happy to hear that. And all right, so it's a nice and easy day. Let's quickly get to, all right, let me get to some comments, see if anyone commented on the baseball leans that I gave, and then we'll talk football. We'll talk about CFL, my thoughts on college football, and NFL. All of our viewers, I highly recommend. I'm doing videos with Al McMorty once again this year. Al McMorty is just great. I love that guy. Guy is a consummate professional, gives great picks, doesn't really care about anything. He has the perfect attitude of a winning sports bettor, that I like. Like Doug Upstone is incredibly happy, and I'm like, how can this guy be a winning sports bettor being that happy? And Al McMorty is like not generally a happy, jovial guy, which to me says that he is the real deal and really knows how to make money with sports betting. So I think that everyone should watch my Al McMorty videos this year. I did do 2 on the NFL for week 1. All right, so let's get to some just some comments. Just some comments. Irvin Ocampo says, "Fuck Brewers." Yeah, I would agree with you. Fuck the Brewers.
What's wrong with the Brewers? How do you hate the Brewers?
I mean, they have some nice bats in the lineup, so it always makes me nervous to bet against them. Today, it just feels like with Garza going against Castillo and the lineups, and an early game on the road, it feels like Cincinnati's the right play. But that might be wrong. I might want to lay off of that one. Irvin Ocampo says, once again, Arizona all the way. Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that I think they're going to win, but in the plus 150s, sorry, excuse me, I had some dust in my throat. In the plus 150s, seems like that is
puffing on the chronic too much this morning.
No. All right, okay. That is disrespected. In Progress says, I should take plus 150 Toronto, but I'm furious with that bullpen blowing it again. Yeah, I mean, listen, you see this in MMA all the time, and in baseball, a lot of times you have like big underdogs that should be underdogs, but maybe a little bit less of an underdog than the market is giving them credit for. That's where a lot of value is. So when you're doing that, you wind up making a lot of bets that you expect to lose, but you have a little bit of value. I mean, if you can find, plus 150 underdogs regularly that should be 130, you're going to have a big edge long-term over the whole season. But every individual bet that you make, by definition, you're expecting it to lose. So I feel your pain In Progress. Definitely feels like Toronto is the play here, but it also feels like they should be an underdog, a small underdog, and are more likely than not to lose the game. So it is a little bit tough. Carlos Luder says, no fruit. Yeah, definitely I would say no fruit. Okay. Let's see. Other comments here. Let's see. Digital Kumquat says, Pats always struggle against KC. Yeah, I will get to that one. That is the Thursday night game. I'll be handicapping that one fully tonight and have a final opinion on that one tomorrow. As of right now, I did look at that game. Nothing I really like that much. Brandon Cummings says, come on, 88 people watching and only 9 likes. Come on, if you like the video, and obviously you do because you're still watching, like the fucking video. Brandon, give that guy some kind of prize for that comment.
Brandon
Cummings. Love this guy. Give him some kind of T-shirt or something. Give him something.
Want a T-shirt?
Give him some SBR points or something.
I got T-shirts.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Carlos Luder says Angels average 6 runs per game since the Upton trade. Yeah, the Angels have bolstered their lineup, and that is having a bit of a synergistic effect all over the place. And they're a team that is definitely looking good. Darryl Lyle says he likes the red today. D says Reds for the win. Yeah. Big line shift, though, as Steven Stucci points out. Big line shift in favor of Milwaukee. So I might hold off. James Stacy says, do Angels hit again today, Pete? Yeah, I mean, Mania has been okay. Not terrible, but not great. And the Angels lineup is looking pretty good. I think I might take the Angels on the second half as one of my official plays. But in general, I'm high on the Angels. Again, they bolstered their lineup. And even before they did that, they had a very good bullpen. So in general, I'm liking the Angels on any given day for sure. Let's see.
Steven Stucci pledges to shave his eyebrows at 100 likes. Let's get him to disfigure himself, guys. Come on. Now we got a real goal here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get my other phone real quick.
Darryl Lyle says, hey, Pete, thinking about grabbing Hawaii plus 23.5 against UCLA. I have not handicapped that game deeply. In general, I'm liking Hawaii's offense this year against mediocre or subpar defenses, which obviously that does not necessarily include UCLA. So in general, I'm looking at Hawaii, maybe team total overs against crappy teams as I picked them against UMass, right? I had Hawaii against UMass, and I had the team total over in that one. Those were 2 of my winners that week. Against UCLA, a little bit different. I'm going to look into that game if I have time more deeply because, of course, I have to cover all the MLB every day. I have to cover MMA, and I have to cover, all the other crap. So it's been a slow slog for me to cover all the football games. But I'm going to look at that. Yes, if I get time. Brandon Cummings asking, Pete, you see any value betting baseball in this month being as those teams are calling up players and sitting down starters? Yes, and for exactly the reasons that you mentioned, there can be more value betting baseball, but you do have to do your research and you have to stay on top of it. So it's a different kind of value than it is in the beginning of the year. And if you look at year-long stats and crunch them like I do, the year-long stats can be less meaningful in September if the players are different. obviously. So you have to stay on top of that for sure. Obviously, bullpens get affected because there are more arms. So some teams will get less tired in their bullpen, and some teams that had bad bullpens will have better ones, and some teams that had better ones will have worse. Or a lot of times you'll see teams with like mid-range bullpens become bad when they bring up minor leaguers who they throw out there in spots and get hit. So it's it's definitely an interesting month. But yes, of course, there's still value betting baseball in September. Okay, let's see.
Hey, Brandon, get me on Twitter. I'll send you out a shirt.
Yes, Brandon Cummings says he would love a T-shirt, but it's a fact people need to like the content.
It's true.
Like it. It's hypocrisy by the viewers. Yeah,
dude, it's so easy. Just click the little thumbs up.
It really is. And millennials are used to liking shit on social media. So if there are any millennials watching this video and liking it, click on like. You know how to do it. Don't be acting like you never liked anything before on social media.
What age is a millennial? I'm always confused by this.
Well,
what is a millennial at this point? Am I?
Age of millennials, I think they're no, I don't know what the age is, but it's more about the attitude. They ruin everything and they're bratty and obnoxious and young.
Okay, so yes.
It's more about the attitude. Like I consider myself a millennial just because of my attitude, my entitled attitude. You know, I'm not sure what the official.
Your elitist attitude.
Yeah, I'm entitled. I expect to have a job where I have a good work-life balance and also a career advancement. And I also am very dismissive of my elders. Guan White says 1993 and up. 1993.
Okay, so I'm out of that. So am I Generation X then? I don't even know. Or Y?
Yeah, 1993 and up. So that would be God no. The truth is I'm not a millennial, but I wish I could be. God, I wish I was a millennial.
That's a great title for a book.
God, I wish I was a millennial.
No, I want it. I'm not a millennial, but I wish I could be.
Yeah, I was so born in the wrong time. I wish I had just been like a millennial or friggin' born to come of age in the 70s. I would have kicked ass in the 70s, and I would have kicked ass as a millennial.
I mean, with that mustache and that shirt you had on yesterday, you would definitely kick ass in the 70s.
All right, okay. So let's get back to the handicapping here. So I got 10 leans on the MLB card today. Not sure which ones I'm going to give officially. But let me go to the football stuff here, and I'll tell you my thoughts so far on football. Definitely some CFL plays that I did bet and pick on the opening lines. Let me just get that one if the internet is working here.
Uh-oh.
Where the hell is the SBRodds.com? Enter.
Sounds good. Also, John Kerry, if you're out there, I still got to get you a shirt too. So figure out a way that I can get some information for you.
Why the hell isn't SBRodds.com coming up here?
I don't know, might be having an outage. Or do we have an outage?
No, I don't think so. Everything else is.
No, I mean the website might be down.
Oh, maybe no. I mean, I got it here. Okay, so anyway, let me see if it comes up here. There are a few picks that I've definitely given and bet on on CFL. Let me just see if I can pull it up here. Sorry for this slight delay, people. I hate dead air on this show. Okay.
What is that, Michael Maeta? That's an interesting question.
What's that?
I'll let you read that.
Okay, so I will get to that in a second. But CFL, I did pick Ottawa -12 over Hamilton. Now, last week I had a terrible pick with Montreal, but my second pick was Hamilton plus the points, and they did wind up winning. So I split my two picks last week. This week I am liking Ottawa -12, and it's very, very interesting here because Bookmaker and DSI have 12.5. The Greek has 11.5. So those are two opinionated books that are disagreeing on this game. Hamilton got a nice win, but they lost by double digits to Ottawa the last time they matched up with them. And I think that after Hamilton's win, they come in here, it will be at a disadvantage. 12 is a lot. I don't quite want to be laying that many points, but I think there's a little bit of value. So Ottawa -12 is a play that I'm liking. And I also took Winnipeg at -2 against Saskatchewan. Of course, they met in their last game, and Saskatchewan won that one. And I think Winnipeg is good enough to be reliable to bounce back here -2. Also, this is a game that the market appears to be split on. Pinnacle has 1.5, but the Greek has 3. So the Greek clearly has a lean to a Winnipeg as well. If that one, though, that one's one where those are on Saturday, you're checking line movement. If that one dips down to Pick'em or even Saskatchewan as a small favorite, then I'll be off of Winnipeg. That's an indication. That's probably a strong indication that Saskatchewan is the right side. But as of right now, I'm liking Winnipeg -2 and Ottawa -12. And I'm also going to be looking at the Calgary-Edmonton game. Edmonton is a 6-point underdog, and they are also playing for the second time in a row. Calgary's great, but Edmonton is good as well. And I'm not quite seeing why Edmonton should be getting this many points, but that is not a play that I bet yet. I'm still going to do a little bit more research into that if I have time. But 2 CFL plays for this week. Ottawa -12, that's my favorite play. And second favorite right underneath it is Winnipeg -2. And then in the NFL, handicapped a couple of games with Al McMorty yesterday. Very interesting games. And one of the games we did was Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Pittsburgh is actually McMorty's value play to win the Super Bowl this year. So he is a believer in Roethlisberger and everything they got around. And obviously Cleveland is a team that is improving. Issues at quarterback, but they have a very strong offensive line. Al McMorty likes Cleveland at +9, which I agree with, and I gave an official play on that one. I took the under 47.5 on that one. I announced it in the video, and that is going on my official record. I like the under 47.5 in that one. Obviously, Pittsburgh has a huge offense, but not sure they're going to dial it up fully here in game 1. Just get the win and get out. And Cleveland's probably going to battle it out in the trenches, limit possession. So I agree with Al's play on Cleveland +9. My pick on that one is the under at +9. The other game we looked at was Arizona and Detroit, and Al really likes Arizona, and that one made a great case for it, Arizona. So, and I'm convinced, and I'm leaning to the over on that one as well. But I didn't give that one as an official pick yet. But those are 2 interesting games for sure. And I also, on my personal account, bet the under 50.5 in Atlanta, Chicago. Although I'm not sure if I want to give that one as an official pick either. But that is those are 2 NFL games that I have looked at and definitely given an official play on the under in the Cleveland game. And then in college football, some interesting stuff. Of course, I've given Iowa State as an official pick, and I've given Northwestern as an official pick, and looked at Louisville. Other games that I've looked at, the Penn State game is very interesting. Penn State is going to be a dangerous team this year against pretty much all comers. They have just an unstoppable offense, an explosive running game, and when Barkley does get hit for a loss, the passing game can absolutely pick it up. Their offense is going to be, I think, as explosive as last year. A great punting game. Special teams is maybe even something. It's a strength that people aren't quite aware of. I think the defense should be as good, or maybe even a bit better than last year. And of course, Penn State is playing with revenge. Pittsburgh beat them last year, as we know. And
that
Pittsburgh,
was awesome.
What?
That was awesome.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh struggled against Youngstown State in their first game this year. Got outgained by them. So it is a lot of points, and it is also a public play. But in general, I'm high on Penn State this year, and Penn State might just run away with it. It's a game that might be close early on, but when Pittsburgh realizes they're going to lose, just throw in the white towel, and then throw in the towel, and then Penn State runs up the score a little bit as a little bit of a revenge from last year. So I'm kind of liking Penn State, even given 20.5 or 21. Not sure if I want to make that one as an official pick yet, but it's definitely a pretty strong lean. And then again, in the USC game, leaning under at 56, even though, USC obviously has a formidable offense this year, leaning under 56. And that's it for college football as far as opinions, as far as new opinions that I have. And let's see, anything else that has caught my eye? Yeah, and maybe, I guess, and also the Syracuse-Middle Tennessee game, thinking maybe about the Syracuse team total over. Not sure what I think about the total is high, 73. That could sneak under. And Middle Tennessee State getting all those points is a little bit tempting, considering, how potent they can be on offense. But it's very, very likely to be a high-scoring game. And I think the most certain thing about this one is that Syracuse is going to dial it up offensively and be productive. So Syracuse on the team total over might be worth a shot there, although that could, of course, sneak under as well. So that's about it for my updated thoughts on college football. And let's quickly get back to some comments, see if there are any updated comments from anyone, and then I'll wrap it up by giving pulling some official picks out of my leans on the MLB card.
Here's what I'll ask you.
Yeah.
I'm curious because I know you just went home back to New York for a little bit.
Yeah.
This guy, Michael, he booked a band in New York called the Insteps
Mm-hmm.
with the lead singer of Peter Loshak.
Who said that?
Michael Mayeta. Is this the same Peter Loshak?
No, definitely. I don't know who the hell he's talking about.
I thought you went home and maybe you have a secret life as a ska singer.
No. That is different. Who the hell he's talking about? All right, so let's see. Rich Banks.
I was kind of hoping.
No. Rich Banks says, in Canada, life is quite simple, really. You meet a guy who used to be your buddy and eventually becomes your, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Right?
Canada. They have their own language going on.
Yes, Canada. They have their own language going on. All right, let's see. I would love to be a citizen of Canada. I would love to live there. I love the chicks there, and I love the.
Is that like your baseline for wanting to go somewhere? It's between there and Australia.
Yeah, Australia, Canada, of course, Sweden, Ireland even would be fine.
Really pale women.
I just like it's just like I like the cultures there better, and I love the chicks, and so I want to be a citizen of Canada, Australia, Ireland would be fine, Sweden would be great,
Scotland's nice.
Scotland would be awesome. God, Scotland would be awesome. Yeah.
Except for the food.
Jason M. asking Canada or Australia, which is better? Oh God, I would give a slight edge to Canada in terms of chicks, and I would give a small edge to Australia in terms of lifestyle and obviously in terms of weather. I would give a slight edge to Canada in terms of chicks, and a significant advantage to Australia in terms of lifestyle. So I guess
I think I would go the other way actually.
What?
I think Australian women are pretty fly, and I would like to live in Canada.
What?
I think I would like the lifestyle in Canada a bit better. It's a bit more relaxed. I can ski.
I mean, the weather is kind of crap. Yeah, I mean, if you love cold weather, which I do,
I like to ski.
They're both awesome. Canada and Australia, they're both awesome. I would love it. All right, I would love to. But all right, okay. So let's get back to it. Right.
Pete's band name would be Pilo and the D-Lo Mustache House.
Whoa, Rich Banks, comment of the week. Wow, send that guy a T-shirt or something. We got to have something to send people when they make truly great comments, whether it's a T-shirt or something. Wow, that's a great. There you go, Rich Banks. Didn't know you had that quality of a comment in you, Rich Banks. That was a top level comment.
So that's the band name, and the album is.
Wow.
I'm not a millennial, but I wish I could be.
Wow.
We got a recording studio in the back there.
I even have funny songs that I've written my whole life.
Me and my wife were just talking about this last night. We make up and sing songs all the time.
Yes.
We should start an album and force our friends to listen to it.
Yes. I once had a girlfriend who was she was a wonderful person, but she was a yuppie, and she was a little bit uptight.
Yeah.
And I made up a song called "She's an Uptight Yuppie, but she'll fuck you all night long." And I used to sing it to her all the time, and she would get annoyed.
She appreciated that.
I mean, she admitted she was an uptight yuppie, but she didn't like the fact that I was
calling her out on it.
Just writing songs about it. But wow, that is a great comment there, Rich Banks. Very, very, very nice. Okay, so
in progress. If you can get a screenshot of that again, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but and anybody else having problems signing up for the contest, we can get us out on Twitter. Send us a screenshot, DM me, at me, whatever you need, and we'll help you get in.
Quan Wright says that's romantic.
That is romantic.
That's what I was. I would just sing.
You do weird stuff when I had a girlfriend when I was in high school who liked when I called her up and read books to her.
Yeah.
She said I had a very nice when I was getting ready for bed and sleep at night. Voice gets a little lower.
But you were doing that because she liked it. See, I would do stuff that would annoy them.
I mean, I do that too, but it's just weird stuff. Now thinking back on it, I wonder what the hell she was doing while I was reading books to her.
The thing is, they all had very good character, and my favorite thing to do would be to say super offensive or racist things. They're not about their race, but about other races, and have them go, "Peter, stop it." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I miss that. I missed that.
Not in front of my mother.
All right, so let's get back to it. I give my opinions on pretty much everything. And again, for the baseball card, I got to make some decisions here on
Steven Stucci is certainly white.
I got to make some decisions here about the baseball card today. Let me check the Angels second half. The Angels second half, which is a play that I'm minus 130. That's just tempting every single time out. All right, I'll give that one as an official pick. Angels on the second half minus 130. Mania against Skaggs. Skaggs has been struggling a little bit. All right, so let's see. Angels on the second half, I will give it.
Good
Cincinnati,
point,
I'm going to hold off on that one just because Garza's off extra rest. Milwaukee does have some nice bats in their lineup. Castillo is great, but he's probably only going to go 4 innings, a very short start like last time out. I'm going to hold off on that one. Hold off on Cincinnati. The Minnesota-Tampa Bay game, Jesus, I would love to take Minnesota. Maybe I'll just throw on Minnesota and Toronto, both as dogs. and hope/assume that that one of them wins. I will do that. I'll throw that one on there. Minnesota and Toronto. I'll throw both of them on there. The Minnesota line is going to be plus 157 at UWager, and the Toronto line is going to be plus 153 at Bookmaker and BetDSI. And I'm just hoping / expecting that that at least one of them will win. If both of them lose, that's okay. Obviously, they're both tricky. Fister's been legit good. People who are looking for Fister to regress, I mean, look, he's not friggin', an elite starting pitcher, but he, I think, is definitely a for-real, solid starting pitcher right now. Yes. People who are saying that oh, you got to fade Fister. He has gotten it done. His peripherals are okay. His pitch location and pitch FX look okay. So Fister's good. I'm not looking to bet against him. I'm not excited to be betting against him. But again, Biagini's last start was excellent, and it's just a little bit too big of a line. Minnesota, the same deal. Snell is similar to Fister, a guy who can have some issues, but right now is pitching very, very well. So I'm not too happy to bet against him. But on the other side, Minnesota's starting pitcher has some promise, Sleggers, and it's just a little bit too high of a line in the plus 150. So I'll throw both of those on there. And as far as the under in the Minnesota-Tampa Bay game, I guess I'll just leave that as a lean. And then the Washington-Miami game, I really do want to take the under on that one because Gonzalez, I am kind of a believer in, and it's a high total line. All right, and I'll throw that one on there as well. Washington-Miami, that's a fourth pick. Under 9 minus 113 at Pinnacle. If it was 8.5, I would stay off it. But at 9, I'll give it under 9 minus 113. So I think that's just about it. 4 picks that I will give, and then again the leans that I'm looking at but staying off of. Cincinnati -1, staying off of that one. Minnesota, Tampa Bay, staying off of that one. Detroit as a home underdog looks interesting, but Detroit and KC, two kind of wacky teams right now. Staying off of that one. And Arizona, as a big dog, I do think they're going to lose, but it's just they're undervalued. They're just not getting respect on the line, staying off of that one. Kind of liking the over on that one as well. And again, kind of liking the over on the second Texas game at Atlanta, but have to wait until the first game is played. And I'm not even seeing that one listed here. So that's it. A bunch of leans, but 4 official plays. Angels, second half -130. Minnesota and Toronto, both on the money line as big underdogs. And then Washington, Miami on the under 9. 4, I think, decent plays. Not like yesterday where I tripled up on everything and I threw on a bunch of irresponsible plays, some of them cash, but more of them lost. Got 4, I think, decent, solid plays. And all right, that's about it. We wrap it up.
These guys are talking about Girl Scout cookies. I think they're using it as a euphemism, but now I'm just thinking about how good Girl Scout cookies are.
Yeah,
add that to the list of things I miss.
Miguel Vega says Snell is hot. Yes, he is. I'm not too excited to be betting against Snell. On the other hand, his control issues are something that can pop up at any time for a guy like that. Definitely, he's been very impressive recently. That's why the line is as high as it is. But
Steven.
Okay.
Look, man, everybody's got to have goals.
All right. Okay. So yeah. Carlos Luder says Fister is getting the ground balls. Absolutely. So again, I'm not too excited to bet against him. My sense is there's small value on both of those. And then people, Antoine Seymour asking about WNBA picks. WNBA playoffs starts today. I love WNBA playoffs. I just have not had a chance to look at those games today. But if I see anything that I am really liking, I will tweet it out. So there we go. Cal 707 Bear asking about thoughts on Gray on the road in Baltimore. Gray's been excellent. Basically, Gray and Gossman are basically the same. It's a total wash. Both guys, quality starting pitchers, get a lot of strikeouts, but vulnerable to the home run. Both lineups here can hit him. The line is close to even. Baltimore is a small favorite, so that line, I'm just passing on that game completely. The lines look pretty much dead on. All right, so that's about it.
All right, closing thoughts. What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't have Girl Scout cookie? You don't eat them?
I have no idea.
No idea. Caramel Delights all the way. Next time somebody comes to Costa Rica to visit us, please bring me a box of Caramel Delights and a pack of Newports.
Yes. Darryl Lyles asking CFL, Pete. Yes, I already gave the picks. I'm liking Ottawa. Even though they're giving 12, I'm liking Ottawa. And then right behind that, I'm liking Winnipeg at -2, unless we see some late line movement on that one in favor of Saskatchewan. And that will be very telling line movement. If it holds at -2, then I'm liking Winnipeg. And I'm liking Ottawa -12 over Hamilton. I think it's a quick turnaround for Hamilton. Ottawa is just a lot better. 12 is a lot of points. Don't really love to be laying that many, but I think in this spot it's okay. So those are my 2 CFL picks. There you go. That's about it. And let's wrap this up. And of course we'll be back to the small Thursday card tomorrow.